Hey everyone, Michael here from Extreme Diecast Racing. Today we're set up for championship race number 4. Championship race, we run 108 cars down our super 6-lane raceway. The raceway is super long. It's a half mile on the 1/64 scale. Here's all of our cars. There's 108 cars we'll be running. Includes some really fast ones. For instance, we've got a Ferrari F40 here. Got some other really nice cars, and we're going to find out which one is the fastest and run it against our current champ, which is Sweet 16-2. This is one really fast car. It's won out the last 2 championship races, but this is a longer track, and we'll see if this guy's up for the task. And so here's our finish line, and Jaden runs our slow motion. He's also our editor, and we're going to see how this goes. All right, we're set. This ought to be great. Here's our first group. Right off the bat, we've got our Ferrari F40. These cars are super fast on the track, so I'm excited to see how this one does on our half-mile raceway. Next up is a Fast and Furious Corvette Grand Sport. Next is a 2010 Ford Shelby Super Snake. Then we've got a 1971 Buick Riviera. Finally, we've got a Corvette SR-2. And then a 95 Nissan Hardbody. We are lined up for our first race. That Ferrari F40 looks great over there on the far left. We'll see how he does on the track. Speaking of the track, this thing is extremely long. You go down the ramp 16 feet and then the straightaway all the way down to where Jaden is. All right, we're ready to race. Let's see how they do. Well, that was a thing of beauty. This Ferrari F40 is fast. It even looked like it was trying to eat that Corvette at the end in the finish line. Here's our next group. First up is a color shifter, a Dodge Viper, then Impavito 1. Next is a 71 Porsche 914. And we've got a car out of the Torpedo series, which are usually pretty quick. It's called It's So Skinny. Then we've got a Pikes Peak Celica. And finally, a Mad Splash. We are all lined up and ready to go. This Dodge Viper looks really nice over here in the Porsche. But that Torpedo, which is in lane 3, the skinny car, that's a pretty heavy casting. Let's see how he does in this race. Oh, that was an unexpected victory. I didn't think Mad Splash would take that one, but he's moving on to the next round. Here's our next group. We've got the Hot Wheels Fun Park. I want to see the Sloopster race. And then we've got a 70 Plymouth Roadrunner. We're lined up for the amusement park race. That Roadrunner over there is probably pretty fast, but I'm always rooting for a Loopster. We've got a couple of minifigs here, Daredevil. We've got this guy ready to launch. Let's see how it goes. Well, I have to admit, I was rooting for the Loopster, so I was glad to see him win. That finish line, that skeleton, he did, I don't know how many end over ends. That was pretty funny to watch. We've got a really good group this time. First up is a Matchbox Porsche 911 Carrera. Then we got Fozzie Bear from the Muppets riding in Cool One. Next, a 69 Dodge Charger Daytona. Then we've got a Blings Dodge Ram pickup. Then we've got a 97 Corvette. And finally, we've got a Super Tsunami, which is really a Toyota Supra. They're lined up and ready to race. Some of these models are actually relatively heavy. Let's see how they do. This good-looking Corvette took that one, but the Super Tsunami was right on his tail. That was a great race. Here's our next group. We've got a 3-pack. So a Lotus, Esprit, looks like maybe a Charger there, a Mini Cooper. Then we've got a Fish and Chipped. Then we've got a Steel Flame. And finally is a Custom Auto. We're lined up to race. That Custom Auto looks to be pretty fast. The blue car is a Camaro. We'll see how the Lotus does. Custom Auto practically had no competition in that race. He was well ahead of the other cars. Here's our next group. First up is Sweet 16-2. Our current champ is a Sweet 16-2, so let's see how this one does. Then a 38 Phantom Corsair, Evil Twin, and then an 81 DeLorean DMC-12, quarter mile coupe, and finally a 66 Chevy Nova. They're lined up. Over in lane number 2 we've got that quarter mile coupe, but we're running a half mile. Let's see if he's got enough legs on him to make it to the end. But this Corsair over in lane number 5, that is a brick. It's one heavy car. And there's always Sweet 16 too. See how it goes. Sweet 16-2 took it. This Spectre Flame 2 blew by those guys. It'll be fun to see if this guy makes it to the championship and runs against our current champ, which is also a Sweet 16-2. Here's our 6 winners of part 1. We had some expected wins, like the Ferrari F40, Sweet 16-2, then some unexpected, especially that boat over there. We'll see which one's fastest, makes it to the semifinals, and takes on our current champ, Sweet 16-2. Here's our next group, and we've got some extremely fast cars in this group. The first one is a Firebird funny car. Our track is 41 feet long. We'll see how this car does. It's a half-mile scale. It's pretty heavy. Next one is a Shadow MK2. We've ran these on our track before, and they are fast. Montezuma, and then we've got a Motorblade, then a 68 El Camino, and finally an 83 Chevy Silverado. We're lined up and ready to race. We've got some really fast cars here. First up is this funny car. He's really heavy. This is a long track. He should do well. But that Shadow MK, I know those things are pretty quick, so let's see how it goes. The Firebird funny car smoked them all. That was a pretty good finish line though. One of our cars exploded. Next up, we've got a 9-pack. We'll run 6 of these this run, and then we'll run the other 3 next round. There's some fantasy cars in here. There's a Loopster, and we got some real cars. So there's a Porsche in here. Looks like a Camaro. Let's see how it goes. We're all set to race. We've got a Shelby GT500 over there on the right. The Loopster had no competition in that race. They must have all been pretty slow. Maybe this Loopster's just really fast though. Here's our next group. These 3 are from the previous 9-pack, leftovers. We've got an 89 Porsche 944 Turbo, then a Street Creeper and a Speed Spider, a Lotus Esprit SI, Corvette Stingray, and finally a 20 Jeep Gladiator. We're lined up and ready to race. Over in lane 3 we've got James Bond driving the Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me. Let's see if he can win this race. The 89 Porsche 944 Turbo beat out James Bond. He's moving on to the next round. Here's our next group. We've got the Porsche 959. This is a metal on metal car, should be pretty quick. We're running them against this 5-pack from Matchbox. It's the MBX, EV, and Hybrid group. Alright, let's see which is fastest. We've got the Porsche running against these EVs and hybrid cars. Let's see if he can take them. But electric motors are pretty quick. This 16 BMW i8 did all right, beat out the Porsche metal on metal Hot Wheels. Moving on to the next round. We've got the Street Beast 5-pack. Some interesting cars in this one. And they're going to be running against this semi-fast. They're lined up. These Street Beasts do look pretty mean. Let's see how they do against semi-fast or semi-truck over on the right. This mean looking Scorpedo took that one. If you were looking at him, he's got really good wheels on him. So it doesn't surprise me he moved on. Here's our next group. We've got Bruce Wayne driving the Batmobile. Then we've got Surf Crate. Then the Mercedes-Benz S123 station wagon. Then High-Tech Missile. 89 Mazda Savannah RX-7. And finally, the mini truck. They're looking pretty good. We've got that RX-7 over there in lane 2. Batmobile looks great. Watch them all get beat by this station wagon. Well, the mini truck is built more for a stereo than racing. He won that somehow. He's moving on to the next round. Here's our winners from round 2. We've got that funny car who's looking really fast. And here's the winners from round 1. Got a Ferrari F40 and also a Sweet 16 too. We'll find out which one's fastest out of these two groups. They'll have to take on our current champ. We've got some great cars in this group, including a faster than ever Ford GTXI, and then a 70 Dodge Hemi Challenger, a prototype H24, a Chrysler Pronto. Then from the Torpedo series, we've got Overboard 454, and then from the Fast and the Furious, the Ice Charger. We've got a good looking group here. That Torpedo in lane 2, those are usually pretty quick. Let's see how he does. But the faster than ever over in lane 6, the Ford GTX1, should take this one. Let's see if he's as good as advertised. Well, as advertised, faster than ever beat him out. This Ford GTX1 is moving on next round. Looks to be tough competition. Here's our next group. First off, Matchbox 2018 Bugatti Divo, looking really nice. Then we've got a Rapid Transit, and then a Ballistics, then a Porsche 911 GT3 CUP, then a 1971 Plymouth GTX, and finally a Mustang Mach-1. This looks like a really fast group. I think any of these guys have a chance to win. Let's see how it goes. The Mustang Mach-1 looked really good. That was a pretty fast group, except for that Bugatti. That guy's pretty slow. Here's the next group. We've got a 3-pack. It looks like a CRX in there, the Governor, and also a Mustang. We'll have to pull it out and see what the name is. Then we've got a Torpedo, and the Torpedo is Bullet Nose. And then we've got a Majorette, and this is the first time I've ever purchased and raced one of these things. It's the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. And then our last car is the Torque Screw. Pretty good looking group here. We'll have to see how the Torpedo does. The Governor is always really quick over here in lane 5. And the Majorette, I have no idea how that guy's gonna do. Torque Screw flew right by those guys. Pretty fast. But that Majorette barely touched the finish line. Definitely not built for speed. We've got Octane, then the 65 Impala, 2011 Mini Countryman, another Loopster, then the 2013 Nissan 350Z, and then we've got a Tail Dragger, which is the Venomized Doctor Strange. We've got a good group here. Loopster again. We've got looks to be an RC car over in lane 6 over here on the left. See how they do. A Matchbox won that one. The 2011 Mini Cooper took it. First up is the Hot Wheels Rapid Responder. That's a pretty fast casting. Grand Cross. And then we've got the SS Commodore. 2018 Chevy Colorado Extreme. And then we've got a Jaguar XK8. And finally, from the Fast and the Furious, a Dodge Challenger drift car. Here they are, ready to race. This Rapid Responder, he should do pretty well. Let's see how it goes. Grand Cross beat him out. It's actually pretty funny. Hot Wheels' rapid response was slow and they rejected him from even getting through the finish line. Here's our last group. First up is the Oldsmobile Aurora GTS-1. Then we've got an extremely fast casting, the 09 Ford F-150. Have to see how that guy does. Then from the Fast and the Furious, the 71 Plymouth GTX. And then a Mono Posto. Another car from the Fast and the Furious. This is the Corvette Grand Sport. And then finally, Gonzo the Great and the 32 Ford from the Muppets. Our last group is lined up and ready to race. This Ford F-150 should be really fast. Let's see how it goes. The Ford F-150 didn't disappoint. This Hot Wheels Gas Company truck is fast. And he sure got beat up at the finish line. That was pretty fun to watch. Here's our winners from Group 3. We got a Faster Than Ever and also the Ford F-150. Here's Group 2 with the funny car. And Group 1 with the Ferrari F-140. We'll find out which is the fastest to take on our Sweet 16-2, our current champ. We're lined up for our first race in the semifinals with Group 1. We've got the Ferrari F-140, and we've also got a Sweet 16-2. First to win 2 races moves on to the finals. Ferrari F-140 isn't disappointing. He blew those guys away. We've switched up the lanes. Ferrari F-140 with 1 win under its belt over in lane number 1 on the right. 1 more win and he moves on to the finals. Sweet 16-2 surprised me. Beat the Ferrari F-140. Let's see if he can do it again. We're lined up for race number 3 of Group 1. So far, Sweet 16-2 in lane 3 has a race, and the Ferrari F-140 has a race. First to win 2 moves on. Ferrari F-140 showing off his muscle. That was a good series though. Sweet 16-2 put up a fight, won one of the races. The Ferrari's moving on to the finals. We're ready to race. This is Group 2, race number 1. The first to win 2 races moves on. That funny car is standing tall over on the left. The Firebird funny car is looking really tough, showing off his muscle here. It's going to be really tough to beat him. We're lined up for race number 2 of Group 2 in the semifinals. So far, the Funny Bird has a win. Let's see if any of these guys can catch him. The Firebird funny car is extremely fast. Let's see how he does in the finals. Well, this is a pretty fast group. This is Group 3, Race 1. Ford F-150 is over on the right. Then we've got this Ford GTX-1, faster than ever wheels, over here on the left. Let's see how it goes. Ford F-150 blew away the competition in that first race. Let's see if he can do it one more time. We switched up the lanes for the second race. So far, the Ford F-150 has won a race. He wins one more, he's moving on to the finals. Ford F-150 looks really tough to beat. It'll be fun to watch him in the finals. Here are the 3 cars that made it to the finals. Got a Ford F-150, a Firebird funny car, and a Ferrari F-140. They're all really fast. The winner will take on our current champ, Sweet 16-2. We are lined up for race number 1 in the finals of our championship race. We have 3 extremely fast cars here. Ford F-150, Firebird funny car, and the Ferrari F-140. The first to win 3 races is our champ of the race. Firebird Funny Car is one step closer to being our champ of the race and earning a spot to take on our overall champ. This is race number 2 of the finals. I've switched up the lanes. So far, the Firebird Funny Car has taken a race. First to win 3 races is the champ. That was an extremely close race. This Firebird is pretty heavy though, and our track is really long, so I guess it's not surprising he's doing so well. This is race number 3 of the finals. I've switched up the lanes. The Firebird Funny Car has taken 2 races, 1 more win, and he moves on to take on our ultimate champ, Sweet 16-2. That was one close race. We debated if the Ferrari F-140 took that race, but the nose of the Funny Car was right in front. So he's moving on. He swept him 3-0. So he's earned himself a date, the Sweet 16-2. Here's our matchup. Sweet 16-2 is our current champ and has won 2 championship races. But the Firebird Funny Car is really fast. First to win 3 races is our champ. We're set for race number 1 of our championship series. The Firebird Funny Car is the challenger over in lane 1 on the right. Sweet 16-2 is our current champ over on the left. First to take 3 races is our champ. Firebird won that first race. Though it was a pretty close race. Let's see how the next one goes. Race number 2 of the finals. We've switched up the lanes. So far, the Firebird Funny Car has a win. Well, the Firebird took 1 more race. He's up 2-0. This is race number 3 of the finals. They're lined up straight up the middle. We've got the Firebird Funny Car with 2 wins. Sweet 16 has yet to win a race. Sweet 16-2 is a very fast car, really good looking car too. But in the end, not quite as fast as the Firebird Funny Car. Firebird Funny Car is pretty heavy, and this long track is something that Sweet 16-2 hasn't had to deal with in the past. So Firebird Funny Car is our new champ. Sits on top of the trophy waiting for the next race. Alright, if you enjoyed this race, hit the subscribe button and the like button. We've got more coming your direction. Alright, thanks for watching.